So, hello everyone, welcome to Coracle's YouTube channel. So, as you know, in last video, we discussed about the important points one should consider while making a decision for a foreign country to pursue their masters, and how Germany exceeds in those points. And in the end of video, we also discussed regarding some catches which one might face while coming to Germany or after coming to Germany. So today we have Sammy with us. As everybody know that he is in Germany since last 20 years. So in this video we will discuss that what were the challenges back then and what are the challenges now. So Sammy, what actual challenges you faced 20 years back when you came to Germany?
Yeah. Thank you for having me back. And maybe it is good to mention that if any of the viewers did not see the previous video, maybe better to check that first.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's all about challenges today.
Yeah, because it covers the good points of the Germany.
Yeah, Germany.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, so we had a long list of positive things.
Yes, yes.
Right?
Yes.
And today it's going to be a long list of challenges.
Yeah.
You asked me about the challenges I faced. Some of the challenges I think remain still valid today. And thankfully, some of the challenges are not there as a challenge anymore. But the biggest challenge for me, and I think also for most of my friends back then, was dealing with the homesickness.
Homesickness. Okay.
Yeah, I know it's now a relevant topic, but just to give a bit of a picture, what I'm talking about, during early 2000, like 2004, I was here. The communication was not easy.
Yeah.
For example, to call your parents, and you need to buy so-called a scratch card. So you to pay €5, so you get a card. So you have a local number you need to call, and then you share this code and blah blah blah. So you have a limited amount of time
Yeah.
in that card, like the prepaid
Yeah.
cards. But the problem was, in one call, so you have like a certain amount of minutes, and then they also have restrictions on how many times you call. So the more frequent you call, the minutes drop. So every call you lose like 20 minutes or 30 minutes or something like that. So which means, and
you cannot call more frequently.
it's not like today.
Yeah.
My mother is calling me like WhatsApp video. I have to tell her, no, I don't have like proper internet. So she will come on Saturday, 11 o'clock, and a particular time to STD booth, the telephone booth. Back then, she also didn't have like a mobile, and I call.
Oh.
And then sometimes a couple of the relatives also come there, So and then we drag the call, like you talk and talk and talk because you don't want to disconnect it because you're losing 20 minutes.
Yes.
And that's it. And then you talk next week.
Oh my God.
And then something comes up, it's not happening, then the week after. So you have to collect all your emotions
In one
to
call.
talk in one call in a particular time. Sometimes it is easy, you feel sad, you just want to talk to your friends or talk to your parents. That was difficult actually, for most of us, and especially coming out for the first time. Even now, most of the students are going out of India or the home country for the first time. That was a big challenge, able to reach to friends and family when you really want to talk to them. That was a little bit difficult, let's say.
It sounds very difficult to me, to be honest, because in now digital era, the connecting is very simple because you can call your any of the relative, parents, friends via WhatsApp and WhatsApp video calls. You can see their faces in just a minute. You don't need to wait for a specific day of the week that I can call now or then. You can call it any random time also.
Mm-hmm.
So now the homesickness is not a big issue because I can see my face. My mother can see my face. I can see the face of my mother, and it's very easy to counter that.
Yeah. But the benefit was nobody was calling me.
Yeah.
So I'm not like disturbed by
Okay.
random people from anyone I don't want to
Yeah.
talk to. So
Oh.
practically no one
That's
was
a good
called.
point.
That's the
Yeah.
the blessing in the disguise, let's say.
Yeah.
Following on that line, we were very few students so in general from foreign countries, but especially from India. Um, Today, India is the number one country
Yeah.
sending students to Germany. And in my time, I studied in Hamburg, right? City of
Okay.
Hamburg. It's a big university.
The university where I'm studying right now.
Yeah. We have very few handful of students, like 10 plus something. And so you don't have this strong community
Yeah.
of like students,
Yeah.
and then few of us were in the same place, and then like three of the friends we stayed in a place, and then three there. Then it's a little bit of distributed, but very few.
Yeah.
And also whenever I'm telling during that time, I feel very old.
Yeah.
So Germany, like even Hamburg, like a big city like Hamburg, they were not really used to many foreigners.
Okay.
Let's say, there were like few Indians here and there running some restaurants, very few, and we feel a bit insecure. Like so, we all go to like together 2, 3,
Yeah.
and trying to navigate, especially in the beginning, the initial months. And they have this staring thing. It's a cliche for Germans.
Yeah.
They look at you a little bit
Yeah.
strong, and we
it
don't
becomes
have.
an awkward moment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's a little bit not so fun to move around for us.
Yeah.
It's more all in the mind, right? It's all psychological for us. But it was like, okay, it's not like today, okay, let's go. Let's meet some friends, let's
Yeah.
meet for dinner, or we're very handful. And in my course, there were like 2 Indians. In one course, there was like 1 Indian. So it's even restricted, like very limited. And you miss this community sense. When I see now, I go to the orientation at the TU Hamburg or the
Yeah.
university.
Now there are probably 200 to 300 students, Indian students specifically, in Hamburg.
For each intake.
Yeah.
Yeah, in one university.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then we were also a little bit exotic for them in the eyes of Germany, in the sense like you knew, and then you could feel that they think, what are these guys doing here? The Airbus was slowly bringing people from India, very few. Like I still vividly remember the first batch of Indians came to Hamburg for the Airbus project. Now, in the meantime, there were quite a lot. So this curiosity mixed with our insecurity, it was not easy,
to blend in.
It's all happening in the mind, but still was uncomfortable moving around, and people are looking at you. You don't speak German, and it was a little bit difficult till you get used to it.
Then, how did you manage to blend in to the culture? Like, you are now the co-founder of a successful company in Germany. And so how did this journey happen actually? I wanted to know that.
To be honest, the blending in part happened quite late.
Okay.
So really late. Maybe we can talk in detail in a separate in a discussion. To give you kind of like a reality, so by the end of my graduation, in my time it was also something different now. We were focused on finishing the studies as quick as possible.
Okay.
The trends keep changing. In between, people took more semesters, and it's changing. I do not know what the current trend or the mindset is.
Currently, people are taking almost study breaks in between to do full-time job. So it usually the 2 years course takes almost 3 years or 3.5 years.
Yeah. I think that's what I also observe. For me, I did all the subjects in 2 semesters.
Oh, 2 semesters.
Yes. Yeah. So I did all the subjects in 2 semesters, and the 3rd semester I did a full 6 months internship.
Okay.
And that I also used for my student arbeit, and then 6 months of thesis.
Okay.
So I finished my master's on time.
That's great.
Really 4 semesters, right? So it didn't leave much room for me also to
blend.
I don't want to give excuses here, but I didn't really focused on learning the language.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I learned a little bit of these lectures that you have, like one semester of the learning German.
Mhm.
But by end of the semester or end of the graduation, I was like really bad in my German, very basic German.
So you
And
came here without preparing your German language, is it?
yeah, because the language was not really like needed,
Okay.
to apply, and there was also not much of opportunities to learn. Of
Okay.
course, you had this Gothe in big cities, but I was not from a big city,
Hmm.
so I learned in a private. Um, some professor in a college, he learned German, and then very basics,
Yeah.
eins,
So,
zwei, ich, and all those things. I wouldn't even call it A1. It's like some words, and then. But after that, I realized, shit, to get into, and then I was also not interested in getting into a technical job. I want to go into
okay.
the management and consulting and
Yeah.
project management, all these side. Then I realized it's too late. But then I realized you need language for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then I started to take it a bit more serious. But then again, it all took some time.
Hmm.
Then it.
Do share your language journey to us in another video, please, because it is also important. Language barrier is the biggest issue in Germany. When I was planning to come into Germany, I started preparing for language a year ahead only. Before coming to Germany, I was already at B1 level of German language.
Mhm.
So it was much easier for me to talk to German people or to, blend in the culture of Germany.
Yeah, I have a bit of a different perspective there, but
Mhm.
maybe as you said, we can we can discuss about it in a separate time. But again, the bottom line, if you learn it back home or you learn it here, it's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
You need to learn, but
Yes.
even you have more opportunities now compared to my time finding a job without German knowledge,
Okay.
right? But still, it is, are you surviving or are you living? This is the
Okay.
difference.
Yes,
If you
yes.
really want to live and enjoy and explore and excel, then the language is the bottom line. Through the language, it's not only communication, you understand the culture, the way of thinking. Language is the culture, right? That's the fact.
Yeah.
Even India, the cultural differences are visible in different
in
regions
different
with the
states, yeah.
languages, right? Yeah. So yeah, the language was a problem, but I never bothered with it. So it didn't really bother me till I realized, okay, I need it.
Correct.
Yeah, that's I wouldn't call it as a challenge for me, but then it turned out to be a challenge because I was not focusing on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, languages are an issue, but at that time, what was the situation of part-time job? Nowadays we used to do. When I came to Germany 4 months ago, I started doing some hard working part-time jobs like working as a delivery person in Flink or Gorilla, or working as a sales manager, sales assistant in Primark or Zara. I used to fold clothes for the stores for at least 4 to 5 hours a day. Like, what was the situation back then?
Sorry. This you call physical hard jobs?
It is actually.
Yeah, it's funny how the definition of hard jobs been changed over the years. Um, yeah, part-time job is a main part of any student's life.
Yeah.
Even in our times, 10 years back now, because you wanted to, support yourself, which is very important. This also gives you a bit of an, good vibe that, like you are taking care of yourself.
Yeah.
So for us, we don't had like blocked account
Oh.
back then,
Okay.
right? So you can bring money
Mhm.
in a DD, demand draft.
Yeah.
It was like 7,000 some euros or something, and there was no restriction that you can cash the demand draft.
Yeah.
And then most of us, like including me, we cashed in, and then I sent 7,000 back home
Oh.
because I had some personal issues. My father died before I left, so I took some private credits and all these things. So I was like living here like with meager like few hundred euros,
Oh my God.
and government exactly want to avoid those situations.
Yeah.
So they created a blocked
Blocked
account.
account thing. Yeah.
I'm happy now. I'm part of the solution.
Yes.
So which means part-time, we were also very, but it was not easy to find part-time jobs. One, because of the language, and the other because the companies were not really into taking foreign students, because it's all in the early stage of this,
Yeah.
the shift. Most of the time we had like physical jobs, like for example, I used to work in the Hamburg football stadium, um, sorting and cleaning plates during the game.
All right.
So you are in the kitchen before the machine, so like, yeah, it's like hundreds and hundreds of plates and forks and knives come in a small pile. You need to like sort it out, and yeah, forks and knives all mixed up, but then it like, yeah, punches,
Sometimes,
and like it's like you're not bleeding, but you could feel like it's like all and cleaning the streets, the snow, removing snow off the streets during winter. Yeah, back then it used to really snow well in Hamburg, and we used to go at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. Then someone will pick us up, and then we go clean the snow off the pedestrian crossing and where people are like walking, and then come back at 8, 9 back, because before the civilization starts, you want the streets to be clean.
Yeah.
And then we used to go out and then like work 5 hours or something, come back and sleep for a bit, and then go to lectures, and then. So sorry. So when you mentioned physical jobs,
I guess I'll call that real hard-working job, because I did not imagine that.
It's not only me, right? So most of us, we did, but then we also want to work. We end up having some jobs in like McDonald's and Burger King. That was already a good job for us, even though it was like physically very intense. But then, yeah, after then you get to know the system a bit, and then I also end up finding a part-time job in Philips. Some of my other friends, they also end up finding jobs in companies. Then that kind of gave us a good entry point into the German corporate life. Then you get to know the the professionals. Then that helped me for my thesis, internship, and so on and so on. But I see now the part-time job situations. I was talking like about Hamburg, right?
Okay.
Back then, smaller towns, it's
be-
practically impossible, I
Yeah.
would say. Yeah, but I don't see this as a challenge. But still, I'm propagating every student, wherever I go. I also said this in the orientation, at the TU Hamburg as well. Take things slow. Part-time job is important, but don't rush. Settle down. You can pick it up after 3 months, 4 months, after a semester. So.
I also find one thing more difficult to getting to the place, because I'm coming to Germany for the first time, and how will I reach to my university, and how will I go here? It is very difficult for a newcomer to find this exact pathway, like how can I reach here. So what was the process at that time? Nowadays we used to use application like HVV to find the navigation possibilities, like how can we go there.
You have like mobile apps, right?
Yeah.
Risking the sounding like an old uncle who claims, what, we used to study under the street lights. Yeah, life sucked that time.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't see that as a challenge that time. Like when you like mentioned this, I'm reflecting back. We did it, but it's not like hard. But when we look at how easy things are now, I can say it was a little bit difficult, because you don't have the smartphones, of course.
Yeah.
And the internet connectivity
Is much.
2024, it sucks in Germany.
So back then,
yeah,
I can imagine.
So it was crazy, and so finding the connections, we really note it down. Take this train that goes this one, then make 3 timings of the train, because you might miss one.
Yeah.
Then you don't have the plan. And then if you note down all the thing, and for the interviews, right, for the job interviews or part-time interviews, I used to go and check the building the day before.
Oh, you used to pre-plan your whole day.
Yeah, because there is no way to see how much time it like. Of course, we also had this online,
Yeah.
but it is what if something goes wrong when I'm on the street? I don't have that smartphone.
Yeah.
It was coming up, the PDAs with few apps. It's very basic. It's not like you can open the Google and then search, maps or something. So to be on the safer side,
We used to
I
pre-plan
used to
the whole
go
day.
the day before, go take the train, make sure all the connections work, and look at the building. Okay, this is what I'm going to come tomorrow. I now know how much time it's going to take. Then that's the important meetings are planned like that.
Nowadays the application are so easier that you can also measure the time, how much time it will take to reach your destination. Even it includes the walking time, the train time, the bus time, everything in detail. So it's much easier
Yeah,
nowadays.
it's much easier. So as I said, I'm just sharing this now. Probably it's interesting for some of the the audience to get a bit of an insight into how it is evolving, in a
Yeah.
positive manner, as it has been evolving all over. It's not only for Germany, right?
Yeah.
Also, if you could same in India, how we are navigating now with our Google Maps. It's pretty
Yes.
hard to go from one place to another. But as I said, some challenges are gone.
Yeah.
It's disappearing because of the technology, because of the more students coming from India, for example. Some challenges, but some challenges I see it still remain the same. For example, the lecture styles.
Okay. Yeah.
For me, I studied. I got good grades because I had a pretty good handwriting. That I'm that kind of like engineer.
Yeah.
It's not because I was smart. And then I was working for a couple of years, and then here, as you can also, I assume, the lecture style is a bit different, right? So
Yeah.
they throw out the concepts. So you need to put a lot of effort in really understanding what
Yeah.
the concept is, because you are a master student here.
Yeah.
And for me, the style was challenging, and I had a break because I was working in India for a year or so before I came. So I was like not fully sharp in terms of sitting and observing, and then preparing on your own understanding. And I realized I don't really have very good foundation in some concepts, because I did electronics in India, EC electronics and communication. Here I did information communications. Here you start with this level of concept
Oh, yeah.
depth. I was
Yes.
like, what do they mean by this electromagnetic wave? I don't even know what that is. Yeah, it's a shame, but that's how
Yeah.
my knowledge was. So I have to start from the basic of understanding what that is and build up my knowledge quick, because you don't have time
Yes.
to redo a bachelor and a master,
Ah.
and that was a challenging the style. And I see students still, maybe you
Yeah.
can comment on that.
That's a challenge now also, because back in India, it was like a spoon feeding system. Like everything is in your hand only. But now, coming to here as a master student, professor will assume that you know these topics already. So you need to come here well
That's true.
prepared. Yeah.
Yeah, true. Challenges are there. Challenges were there. Challenges will be there.
Yes.
And it's only changing. One goes off, one comes in. But in the end, the benefits of being in a foreign country in general, or in Germany in this case, outshines all these challenges.
Yes.
The challenges are everywhere. I'm sure everyone will be able to deal with it and manage it and even excel. You are here, I'm here. No one is forcing us to be here.
Yes.
So these are there, but manageable. So let not. Just a message for me from my side is don't let these things, drag you, or make you not to come to a step out of your home country to explore.
Well, thank you so much, Sammy, for sharing your views on the challenges regarding student can face in Germany. So, guys, what do you think about these challenges? Comment us down and let us know your views. And until then, we'll see you in the next video. So, like, comment, and subscribe.
Yeah. Take care. Yeah. Bye bye.
Bye bye.